Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the day 5 of Cyber Scotland Week. This is the last day, I guess, and for sure, this is the last event from TechForce. It's been a fantastic week, and today we are talking about getting into cybersecurity, the skills, the paths, and then the careers involved. We have 3 fantastic guests. We have Carla, we have Chelsea, and Hatim, who will cover from 3 different perspectives, right? So without a further ado, I will ask for the introductions. Can you please introduce yourself? Let's say, Hatim, you go first.
Yes, hi everyone. So my name is Hatem Ariz. I'm a senior lecturer at Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen, and I am also the course leader for the master course in cybersecurity.
Awesome.
I have been working in cybersecurity for many years. I have kind of some background working with companies, helping them kind of shape up their security here locally. I've got a number of professional certifications, and I've also kind of have research and PhD students working on cyber-related topics.
Brilliant. Chelsea?
Hi, I'm Chelsea Jarvie. I'm a cybersecurity consultant and I run a company called Neon Circle. I got into cybersecurity through the traditional degree route. So I studied ethical hacking at Abertay, and I've been in industry now for about 6 years, which has flown by. I've done a variety of different things in that time.
Carla?
So I'm Carla. I ran a security recruitment business for over 10 years. So I've helped hundreds of people over the years change their careers, get a cyber or progress, and then pivoted myself into a threat intelligence business about 6 months ago. So I've actually done all the things that I'm telling other people to do now.
Brilliant. So the key topic here, getting into cybersecurity, I'll start with you, Chelsea. I have asked you this question a number of times in the past. How did you actually get into cybersecurity? Especially before you took the course at the Abertay Uni, what was happening and what made you get into that course?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's definitely not something that I wanted to do my whole life, and this is something I say, like, I was not a hacker in my spare time, and it wasn't like a calling for me. I just knew that I wanted to help people in my career. And originally, I wanted to do pharmacy, which helped people obviously in their health, and that didn't work out. So I was always good at computing. So that's how I sort of ended up thinking, well, how can I help people stay safe and like keep their money safe and their information safe online with the skills that I have. So that's how I ended up. It's not really that inspirational a story compared to some people, but yeah.
If you're looking to hire somebody just now, what would you be looking for?
So definitely a passion for the field and an interest for keeping up to date with what's going on and getting involved in the community. I think that is so important. And I've hired people who've come through a traditional route, and also people who are just keen and don't have a cybersecurity background at all, and they've transitioned with me, through my teams and things, into cybersecurity. So I think it's a real passion to learn is like the absolute must for me.
Awesome. Carla, so when people are thinking about getting into cybersecurity, we often hear people have this perspective that you need to be technically skilled, or you need to be a hacker, or you need to be able to hack. But how true is that, and what kind of skills do you need to get into the industry?
I'd agree with Chelsea around having an interest in the area and an ability and interest in keeping up to date. But we do think a bit about hacking. Hacking's one tiny part of cybersecurity. There are so many other disciplines. So I think if you've got skills in risk management or project management, and particularly if you've got good communication skills coupled with that interest in it, there are so many other areas that you can go into. So it's not just about that.
Awesome. If you have to put the demanding area in cybersecurity, what would be that?
I would say cloud security over the last year has probably been the biggest area, anything related to cloud. And then incident response, which is probably not an entry-level area of cyber, but I would say that has been the biggest growth area that I've seen over the last couple of years.
I'll ask you one more question while you're there. Somebody who is completely in a different field, and they are looking to get into, let's say, a mechanical engineer, looking to get a start in the industry, where can they start?
I think they should start, and I always say they start with free courses or free certifications. Don't spend money on something until you know it's the area you actually want to go into in cyber. And go to events, come to things like this, like come connect with us, network. Like networking is the number one thing people need to do if they want to get into the industry. They've got to go to events or reach out on social media and connect with people. That's how everyone I've seen break into the industry has done it.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I would say to somebody with a degree in mechanical engineering to consider something we call a conversion course. So just to cite an example here at RGU, for example, we have a master course where we take in people with various backgrounds and shift them slowly towards a career in cyber. So we have a degree, for example, called MSc IT with cybersecurity, where we basically expose them to the breadth of topics in IT in general, but also make them discover a number of topics in cyber. Just basically to give them a steer towards whether they want a career in kind of more practical hands-on, like a security analyst, or maybe more kind of a management type of role, risk management and information security management. So this can also be kind of a viable way of getting into security, because a degree gives you kind of the structure of learning and puts you in the right environment. So you'll be basically learning from peers coming with different backgrounds and experiences, and you'll be in the right mindset, basically, to study and to further your knowledge and understanding of the topic. So it's not always so much about what you learn on the course, but also what you do while you are on the course, and kind of being in the right setting for doing so.
Chelsea, what do you think of the soft skills in the industry?
Yeah, so I think this is a big one for me, because I think, particularly for me at uni, you learn a lot about the technical aspects, and then when you go into industry, you've started to learn how business operates and how to navigate the political environment. And then you find actually in cybersecurity, you do need those soft skills for making the business understand the risks that they're running with, or getting them to see why they should put specific control in place, or why they should spend money on a specific security area. So I think they're pretty big, and I think this might be one of your questions for later, but as an industry, we keep talking about these sort of unicorn job postings that we're seeing, and that people want, the absolute cybersecurity unicorn to do everything, but I think that's actually probably a move for us to be to have cybersecurity professionals who are more generalist, who have got a wide range of skills and the soft skills as well, to be able to do a wee bit of everything in an organization.
Also, just a step back a little bit, what Athim was saying earlier, and for somebody completely different, coming from a different industry, how can they look at the skills, transferring of the skills they have in the industry into the cybersecurity? What kind of skills would you be looking at?
Oh, so I think it doesn't matter what industry you come from, you'll have transferable skills, because cybersecurity, it covers every discipline and every sort of industry that we have. So I think being able to solve problems, be able to think creatively and out of the box and come up with new solutions, and then obviously being able to communicate, being able to listen as well to the business, and the sort of risk appetite and things is really important as well. So I think all those transferable skills from whatever discipline are really helpful for cybersecurity.
Carla, are there any disciplines you can think of right away which could make an easy switch into a discipline in cybersecurity? Can you give us an example?
I think anything that kind of comes under that GRC banner is really easy to switch, or easier to switch into. You know, I've seen lots of people that have moved from risk management and project management in particular, but not exclusively that, into kind of that GRC space. And cyber awareness as well is another kind of growing area where people are coming in who have maybe a background in training or marketing, and they just need to understand the cyber, but they understand how to go talk to the business. And that can be a good way of getting your cyber experience and then moving into something more technical if that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. Cyber awareness, one of the growing area. And we see these titles every time popping up on LinkedIn: awareness and culture strategist and consultant. We didn't see this before, but for somebody who is good at training people or even just organizing it or project management, it's a great area. Right. Hatim, Carlos mentioned a few roles, and also Chelsea mentioned a few things there. But IT management, risk management, project management, and also the training, security awareness training, are all this covered in the university courses?
Yes, they are, although they are not the most popular topics, as you can imagine. Lots of our students, they just like the cool stuff. And I guess we contribute a little bit to kind of emphasizing this aspect of cybersecurity. So even in our marketing and leaflets and stuff, you may find somebody with kind of the anonymous mask on them, kind of behind the black or green kind of type of coding and the black kind of background, hacking away on their own. I think this doesn't help the image of that we want to portray. That there is more to security than that just kind of the lone kind of hacker. And therefore, when we cover things like information security management, we try to bring in basically people from industry to speak about experiences with real case studies and so on, because otherwise the topic is quite dry. You can basically teach the concepts, but then there is a huge gap between that and going into an organization and becoming their information security manager. So they need to have that as you mentioned, kind of that set of skills that would allow you to be able to understand people, to communicate, to relate to some of the things that happen at higher management levels and so on. So it is something that I teach at university, and I try to do as much as a good job as I can. But as I said, I mean, it is not the most popular topic with students.
Why does that happen? I mean, putting the hoodies and you know, black screens with green letters and all that stuff on the marketing material. Is that like marketing departments taking their own decisions, or cyber professionals not getting involved? Or
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to slate my colleagues in marketing, but I guess this is their occasion, this is their opportunity to sell courses. Yeah. But from our point of view, this is not helping.
Yeah. While you're there, what are the general challenges students find after graduating to find a job or get a start on the professional ladder?
So I would say most of the job opportunities out there require some sort of experience before getting into a job, and this is really kind of annoying. And also, as Chelsea mentioned, the unicorn type of job application. So you find kind of a place where they want you to be the security guy. So this is not realistic from the point of view of obviously those employers. They need to have an understanding of realistically what to expect from a recent graduate, and allow them to grow into the role. So this has, and obviously the security related issues. So whether to trust somebody, kind of somebody who's just come out of university, would you trust them with the security of your company? There is this aspect as well, and I can understand from an employer's point of view that they want to be reassured of the level of competency of the one that they are recruited. I think we need to see more kind of work placements opportunities, giving space for people while they are studying to put their skills into practice and make that count towards their work experience.
What would you add, Carla?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think getting experience going to events, resumes that say that they've been to Hack the Box events, they've done Capture the Flag tournaments, they've even listening to podcasts or things like this where you're building your knowledge and can use those opportunities to reach out to the people who are on them and build your network. I think that's really important. And I think sometimes we have to accept that not all roles are entry-level roles. They're not all suitable for graduates or people coming into the field. So you might need to go and get some IT experience so that you understand how IT in a business all comes together. And I think we don't highlight that enough. I think we're just quick to blame employers who won't take a chance. Not everyone can take a chance. So I think there's a few things that people can do themselves to get that experience, but also have that understanding of where they genuinely might lack the experience that is needed for that role.
Would you say it's relatively easier to get an IT role and then make this switch gradually into cybersecurity? Carla?
I think everything is hard, but yeah, potentially. I think if you've got some IT experience or you've done some work experience. So we do see more and more now kind of graduates who have done internships and like summer internships, unpaid internships, those sort of things. So I think anything that kind of gives you that experience just gives you that edge and really does make the difference. And, I understand all the challenges around internships and how that affects people with different economic situations, but there is just that point where you do need some experience sometimes.
Chelsea, let's talk about unicorns. Why does it happen? Why does employers look for, your CISSPs, CISMs and whatnot, but still offering 30 grand, 20 grand salaries?
I think businesses are realizing that they need cybersecurity people in their business, but they don't quite know what skills that they need. So they just want a sort of Jack or Jane of all trades, and they don't really maybe know what the industry standard pricing for a sort of Jack or Jane of all trades is. And I can understand that because, if you're a small or medium business and you want somebody who can just do a bit of everything, then you would just put out this job ad. But it's not informed, and I think it's just not great from a security professional point of view if you're having a look for a job and you think, how can I be, a SOC analyst and a risk and governance professional? And it's just, as Carla said at the start, there's just all these niche areas that I think some businesses maybe just don't understand.
Is that an awareness issue?
I don't know. It could be an awareness, sort of naivety. Yeah, potentially.
I'll ask Carla. Carla now is at the other side of the table. She was working in the recruitment now, and now she is responsible for HR and recruitment, I believe.
Yeah.
Tell us, Carla, why do you think that happens?
So I don't think it happens as often as we think it does. And I think as an industry, we perpetuate this idea that employers don't know what they're looking for and that there are all these unicorn job descriptions. And for sure, there are some. And I think, like Chelsea says, they tend to be the smaller organizations that don't have big security teams. But when you start looking at more mature organizations, they don't do that anymore. They've listened. They really do put out good quality job applications, job adverts that, they've listened and they've changed their language. They've tried to diversify that and they've tried to improve the diversification of their teams as well. So I think it is the companies that are small and haven't maybe had a security team before. And I think we're seeing less and less of these adverts. Yeah,
absolutely. It's the understanding and the awareness, right? Hatim, how has been the internships and the placements opportunities over last 12 months?
Oh, very few, I'd say. Obviously, everyone has been affected by the situation we find ourselves in. So it's not helping. Although kind of people genuinely, companies genuinely kind of show interest in providing us as many placements as possible, but it's just not possible at the moment. So,
but I was thinking it might have opened more doors in the sense that candidates can work from anywhere to any company in the world now, whereas in the past there are some companies that looked, oh, we need candidates to be in the same town, same city, same place.
Yeah, that's true. So we had, for example, somebody, one of our students who did an internship with HP Security Labs, who are based in England while she was here in Scotland. So that wasn't an issue. So yeah, this sort of arrangements can work for this type of roles. But it's not for the majority. For a majority of our placements are locally based, and because we are in Aberdeen, at least heavily kind of related to the oil and gas industry, and with all what we know about what's happening in the industry, it wasn't kind of a great place for our students to make a start in their career.
Brilliant.
But things are picking up slowly, so we are hopeful.
Awesome. I know who you're talking about, and she's a great talent, I believe. Carla, anything to add? Are you seeing more companies offering placements and internships now, or less? What's happening?
I've seen a couple of things like you mentioned. So over in America, I know a couple of the banks were able to still have their same internship take, but have people based everywhere. And that really opened things up for them in terms of the people they could look at. But yeah, on the whole, I think this year's been really tough. Companies don't have the money to do internships all the time. You know, I think we're all a little bit exhausted from being sat at home, and sort of the time you have to invest in interns can be a lot. We've done quite a few internships this year, I'm happy to say, over at Orpheus. So we have, but yeah, I think it has been tough for people this year.
I was curious, how does the payments work? If the company is based in America and employee is based in UK or India, would they be on a payroll, or would they be paying a recruitment company? And then how does it work?
I think when you start getting into people working across different countries, it gets really tricky. So I think a year ago we all thought this might happen and we'd all become this global workforce, and I think people misunderstood how challenging that can be from a payroll perspective. But there are ways around it, so you can sort of have local entities or local payrolls that allow you to do that, but it's complicated and a lot of work, and I think we maybe won't see that geographical split that we all thought we would a year ago.
Maybe you should start using Bitcoin.
Yeah. Only pay me when it's high. All right. Okay. Chelsea, often we're talking about getting into cybersecurity, and we're always talking about, getting into cybersecurity as a job, as working somewhere else. But is there an opportunity for somebody outside the industry to start a business, entrepreneurship in cybersecurity?
So did you say to start a business? Yeah,
start a business in, being entrepreneur and a cybersecurity entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because since I started my business, I have come across lots of people who are starting cybersecurity businesses, but they don't have a cyber background. And I think it's amazing that they managed to do it, and that they're successful, and that they've found a gap in the market that sometimes I haven't even considered as somebody working in cybersecurity. So I think, I think if you're able to do it, it's amazing. And there's actually so much support for people starting businesses just now, and particularly cybersecurity businesses. It's incredible. So, if you maybe are one of those people who can't find a job, maybe out of uni, and you've got a business idea, like starting a business and going down the entrepreneurship route might actually be the best thing for you, although a wee bit financially tricky.
What do they need? Give me top 3 things apart from an idea. And
determination, the ability to face rejection and keep going, and confidence in yourself. You just got to back yourself the whole way. I think that's the three main things I think you need for starting a business.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Hatim, do you see students coming up with ideas or business ideas? And
yeah, we have a scheme at our university. We have a startup accelerator, a a grant for people who come up with a sound business plan, and basically the university would give them £10,000 to make a start and make sure that they are surrounded by people who can advise them and support them throughout their journey. So we had a couple of people who came up with good ideas, I would say. But as Chelsea said, I mean, funny enough, they were kind of graduates from the business school. So they were kind of more business minded, with kind of seeing that there is a gap in the market that is related, just happens to be in the cybersecurity domain.
Did you have any successful commercial companies born out of RGE? No,
not yet.
All right. I'm sure we will. We will make it. Carla, you were working in a recruitment industry, but a complete different discipline, and you took the plunge into starting your own, focused on cybersecurity. How did you make that move?
So when I started the company, we were focused on like business continuity and crisis management, which had been my background. And suddenly everyone just wanted to talk about cyber. And it just became really obvious that this was going to be a big area and nobody else was really doing it. So, I often say we were just quite lucky on our timing that we were there and one of the first to only focus on cybersecurity. So it was kind of listening to what the industry was saying and what they were wanting. And I think we did that throughout the whole journey as well. So that's what I'd say. Listen to what people are telling you they want for where the gap is.
Awesome. While you're there, Carla, you did mention a few parts in cybersecurity. Is there anything else you can add to the different parts in cybersecurity? Not just the penetration tester, not just the risk analyst.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many disciplines, right? And you've even touched on, starting your own business. There are lots and lots of cyber vendors. And I think when we talk about careers in cyber, the vendors get a little bit overlooked, but it's a really good way to kind of get into the industry and to learn a bit more, because I would say the vendors maybe struggle to hire people more than your large organizations that have internal security teams. So I'd say that as an area that gets overlooked is one to think about.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you all very much. We are running out of time. And if you would like to add one last parting piece of advice for anybody that is looking to get into cybersecurity, that would be fantastic. I would start with Chelsea.
So my parting gift would be to get involved with the cyber community on Twitter and LinkedIn, because I don't know how many opportunities I've had from networking with people just on those two platforms. So I would say if you're starting out, start following people on both those platforms.
Hatim?
Yeah, I would say just make sure you have the right attitude towards a commitment, basically, to a lifelong learning. That's it. That's kind of what you are signing up for when you come into security.
Awesome. Carla?
Network is the number one thing you can do. So whether it's like Chelsea said on social media, whether it's hopefully soon in-person events, or reach out to people. If you're watching this, reach out to all of us. That's a really good way to start. So just network. Absolutely.
Network with people, be passionate about the industry, and you will go a long way. Hey, thank you, all three of you. Thank you very much for your time and your advice. It's great talking to you. Right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.